Junaid can explain about column chromatography that we have discussed yesterday. Muhammad Junaid. Say what are the topics we have discussed yesterday under column absorption chromatography. Junaid. Okay, I will put absent. Then anybody else? Rubeshwaran.
Yes, ma'am.
Just summarize the topics what we have discussed.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, column chromatography parameters, ma'am. Principles, column stationary phase, column packing, mobile phase, sample preparation and application, recovery, detection and application, ma'am.
Okay.
Principle is absorption, ma'am. And then column material material is the glass and plastic, ma'am. Glass or plastic.
Okay.
Then stationary phase, ma'am. Silica gel, ma'am, for column chromatography. Then column packing, ma'am.
Packing methods.
Two methods, ma'am. Dry packing and wet packing, ma'am.
Okay.
Wet packing is advantageous, ma'am.
Okay. Can you explain why it is advantageous than dry packing method? Okay, Rubeshwaran, thank you. Junaid, are you ready to explain now? Say the remaining points, what he has completed with that. Junaid, why you are attending class then? Already I have given warning to you. So I'll put absent for all the classes if you are not responding, okay? Jackson.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, last class we have discussed about column absorption chromatography, ma'am.
Okay.
Some of the parameters have been followed, ma'am. Principal, column, stationary phase, column packing, mobile phase, sample application, recovery, detection and applications, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you. We'll revise once now. Jackson and Rubeshwaran. Thank you for you both.
Thank you.
We'll continue with the last class, then we'll move on to another chromatographic technique. Can you see the PPT?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Actually, Carl was disconnected with this deduction, I think so, in the last class. So we'll discuss briefly about deduction and applications of column chromatography. So what other parameters we have discussed? Column chromatographic parameters from beginning, principle is absorption, then column, as they have said, Jackson and Rubeshwaran said, we have discussed about principle, column, stationary phase with the particle size, then dry packing and wet packing methods, and their explanation on dry packing and wet packing, how it is done, then mobile phase selection with the polarity nature, how it is selected according to increasing polarity, then sample preparation and application in the column, then recovery and elution techniques have been discussed. Then under deduction, once the fraction is derived from the column, once the fraction eluted out from the column, what was the process? Once we are applying the sample on the column, when you flow the mobile phase continuously on the column, the sample will get separated as bands, and those bands are eluted out from the column by means of continuous flow of mobile phase. Okay. So once you collect individual compound fractions, they are next carried for deduction. Deduction means if we are going to characterize what type of compound has been isolated out or eluted out from the column, what active material it is. Okay, that is done by preliminary screening. Preliminary screening is nothing but preliminary identification test, and along with TLC, thin layer chromatography, also done as preliminary screening for detection of molecule after column isolation. And next to preliminary test, it will be carried for chromatographic analysis. Chromatography means here HPTLC, HPLC, sophisticated techniques will be applicable for detection of the molecule. Both quantification, how much it is present in the fraction, and what type of molecule it is. With the concentration, we can detect. Both qualitative and quantitative characterization can be done with chromatographic analysis with the sophisticated techniques, HPLC and HPTLC. Then next about spectroscopic techniques. The fraction will be carried for spectroscopic analysis, where we can send the electromagnetic radiation and we can characterize the molecule, what type of basic nucleus, functional group, what molecule it is. Molecular structure can be analyzed or predicted by means of spectroscopic analysis. Hope you know what are structural elucidation spectroscopic methods, through which we can predict the chemical structure of isolated fraction. What are the techniques? FTIR, NMR, mass. So these are the techniques will come under structural characterization of a molecule. So by this deduction techniques, we can confirm what molecule has been separated and isolated out from the column and from the mixture of sample what you have taken. If it is herbal, then what molecule it is, either alkaloid or glycoside, what active metabolite, flavonoid, tannin, what active metabolite has been isolated out, that can be predicted. And even chemical structure of the molecule also can be predicted. If it is synthetic, it has a multiple combination, then it is separated from the mixture into individual components. And what category of, whether it is synthetic means if it is quinolic derivative or indole derivative, or based on what chemical classification, we can find out what molecule it is. And then if it is from some other biological source or some metabolites, if you want to analyze your clinical samples which is having mixtures, if you want to isolate out only selected compound, then you can isolate out and we can find out what metabolite is present, whether expected metabolite is present or not. Likewise, the molecules from the mixture can be isolated and characterized through these techniques. Even chromatography and spectroscopy are combined and analyzed for the molecules, since isolated compound will be of very less amount you will be getting. Even in milligram to microgram to milligram amount samples only we could derive after isolation, after analytical isolation. In that case, we cannot go each and every deduction techniques individually with a less quantity of sample. So we can prefer multiple or coupled characterization methods, where we can achieve this coupled characterization. We can couple chromatographic analysis and spectroscopic analysis. What type of instruments are available for coupled techniques? With a less amount of sample, how we can accurately detect the molecular or characterize the molecule, how we can do with the LCMS, GCMS, those techniques, liquid chromatography and mass spectroscopy coupled to analyze even less amount of molecules in sensitive manner. Likewise, GCMS with gas chromatography and mass spectrometry is coupled to analyze. Likewise, the chromatographic techniques are coupled with either mass spectrometry or FTIR or FTNMR. Likewise, it will be coupled with spectroscopic analysis for highly sensitive detection with less amount of molecules itself, concentration of molecules itself. Okay, so that based on concentration only we can select different deduction technique after column isolation. This is about deduction techniques. The next about general applications of column chromatography, column adsorption chromatography. It is applicable for separation and purification. separation and purification of both solids and liquids. We can separate out both solids and liquids through open column chromatography. The column is not closed here, so like burette, open column only is choose, so it is also called as open columnar chromatography. And separation of other applications, separation of mixtures of components, then removal of impurities and purification process. That is why it is applicable for separation and purification of both mixture of solids and liquids can be separated. Then isolation of active constituents. Active here represents therapeutically active constituents can be isolated from mixture. Then isolation of metabolites from biological fluids. As I have already said, isolation of metabolites from biological fluids like blood, urine, different biological samples. We can isolate out metabolites from other interferences. Okay, and we can quantify, even we can check the bioavailability of the metabolite or drug that has been administered to the patient. Everything can be analyzed after isolation from the mixture. Then estimation of drugs in formulation or crude extract. If it is present with extract or formulation, drugs can be in mixture form. If it is present, then that can be separated and isolated. Then it is estimated. Okay. This is about common applications of column adsorption chromatography. With this, column adsorption chromatography gets over. Mostly we have discussed all the concepts behind it. If any questions in this column adsorption chromatography, now you can arise. Now we'll move on to, next to this, we'll move on to another column chromatographic technique. It's the basic technique under column chromatography, that is column adsorption chromatography. Column adsorption chromatography. Here is the picture of experimentation part. Clear now about column chromatography? Shall we move on to the next technique? So nobody has responded.
Yes, ma'am, it's clear, ma'am.
Clear only, no? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So all are there, right? If
Yes,
any
ma'am.
connection loss means kindly inform me, okay? Since I am opening only PPT in full screen, I could not able to see the main window of meeting, okay? So just inform me if it is lost.
Okay, ma'am.
And the most important and widely used technique for biological fluids for clinical sample analysis is high performance thin layer chromatography. It is also type of column chromatography. Here comes closed column chromatography. It is closed column chromatography. Okay. What is high performance liquid chromatography is HPLC, that we are going to discuss now. High performance itself high comparing with other column chromatographies. Okay, so it is called high performance. Liquid chromatography means we will be using liquid as mobile phase for separation. So liquid using liquid separation is going to done. That is why it is called high performance liquid chromatography, that is HPLC. Acronyms on HPLC are, it may in the previous days it was called as high pressure liquid chromatography or high speed liquid chromatography. Recently it is converted to high performance liquid chromatography. So now we will call it as high performance liquid chromatography only. But it was called as high pressure or high speed liquid chromatography. Then history about development of HPLC was in 1960s by Jack Kirkland. He is the father of HPLC. He only developed HPLC instrumentation, along with the team members like Joseph Huber and Saba Harvard. This scientists, these three scientists developed HPLC instrumentation. Okay, even name and term of HPLC and the instrumentation both was developed by these three scientists. But father of HPLC is Jack Kirkland. He only coined about developing HPLC. Then in 1967, the first commercially available HPLC system, the ALC 100 HPLC, that is the model number and name, was developed by Waters Associates, the company called Waters Associates. Now it is Waters Corporation. You should have heard HPLC made by Waters. So when was the first HPLC system? Was launched in 1967 by Waters Corporation. What is the name of the HPLC? ALC 100 HPLC. Then by the 1980s, HPLC was being commonly used in the world of science. This is about history of HPLC. Since you are going to use HPLC in common for quality control of biological molecules, you must know the history of HPLC, when it was developed and by whom it was developed. Okay. And HPLC system which we have in our institution is Shimadzu made HPLC. Okay, Shimadzu, company called Shimadzu made HPLC. If you want to see the Shimadzu, I'll share with you the instrumentation image of Shimadzu instrumentation later in the next class. Okay, that we have in our college. But the first instrument was made by Waters HPLC. From 1980s, it was started used in the field. Then what analytes can be separated and quantified by? It is a quantification method mainly. So what are the analytes can be focused for HPLC separation? First one, organic molecules, then biomolecules, ions and polymers. Organic molecules, biomolecules, ions and polymers. These are all the majorly focused analytes for separation by HPLC. Organic molecules of any drugs, then biomolecules, biological moieties, then ions, cations and anions, polymers like gels. So these all can be separated by using HPLC technique. Then moving on to classification of HPLC. We have different HPLC chromatography based on different principles. Okay, different classification. The first one is based on mode of separation. HPLC is divided into two types, normal phase and reverse phase. What is normal phase? This we have already discussed under the classification itself. What is normal phase? In the beginning itself, we have discussed other type of chromatographies. Under introduction itself, we have seen already what is normal phase and reverse phase under planar chromatography. So what is normal phase and reverse phase? Can anyone answer? So HPLC in normal phase mode, it is called as, it will be separation will be used with mobile phase. It is decided actually based on polarity, where mobile phase for normal phase will be of non-polar, where stationary phase will be of polar in nature. Okay. For reverse phase, mobile phase is polar and stationary phase is non-polar. So based on the polarity of phases, stationary and mobile phases, mode of separation and based on mode of separation, HPLC system and HPLC chromatography is divided into normal phase and reverse phase category. Even chromatography is itself called as normal phase chromatography, and another one is called as reverse phase chromatography, or reverse phase HPLC or normal phase HPLC. And next classification is based on principle of separation. Based on principle, those principles also we have been discussed enough. What is adsorption, then what is partition, what is ion exchange, what is size exclusion, then affinity. So based on principle, different types of HPLC are there: adsorption, partition, ion exchange, size exclusion or gel filtration here, then affinity chromatography. So these are all the different types of HPLC based on principle of separation. Then according to elution techniques, isocratic and gradient. What is isocratic? Can you say only in the last class we have discussed what is isocratic and gradient elution. What is isocratic? Can anybody answer?
Same solvent and polarity of solvent is used for the
polar
separation.
solvents are used. For gradient, different polar solvents are used for elution. Then about scale of separation, the HPLC may be called as analytical HPLC and preparative HPLC. For small scale operation, it is called as analytical. For larger scale separation, it is called as preparative HPLC. Then about types of analysis. What type of analysis you are going to carry out, whether qualitative or quantitative. Here qualitative means only qualitative parameter will be analyzed. Quantitative means concentration also will be analyzed. But both the analysis are possible with HPLC. So these are the different classification of HPLC chromatography. First one is mode of separation, normal mode or reverse mode. Then principle of separation, adsorption, partition, ion exchange, size exclusion or gel filtration, then affinity. Then according to elution, isocratic and gradient. Based on scale of operation, analytical and preparative. Based on type of analysis, qualitative and quantitative. This is about classification. So with this, I am completing today's class. In the next class, we will be seeing about instrumentation of HPLC in brief. Okay. There are 5 parts of instrument, HPLC instrument. And those 5 parts we will be discussing in the next class in brief. Okay. So with the very less topics, I am completing today's class. Since we have continued with last class, HPLC, I have covered only little bit. What are acronyms of HPLC? What is the history of HPLC? What are analytes focused? And what is the classification of HPLC? Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
If you
ma'am.
don't have
Thank
any
you, ma'am.
doubts in this part, we'll discuss the next.